What's going on, everyone? So, one of the things Luka Doncic himself said going into this season is that he wanted to be a better leader, right? There was a lot of talks, even dating back to Dallas, about him really kind of being the vocal leader, being the guy. He's the best player, but, is he the vocal leader? Is he the guy that is rallying the troops together to get ready to go to battle, right? And you're seeing with the Lakers that leadership. Right? It's one thing to say it. It's one thing to be like, hey, I want to be a better leader. I want to be vocal. I want to, build that team chemistry and things like that. And it's another thing to actually do it and act upon it. And we've seen Luka do that with the Lakers thus far. And it doesn't even have to be anything crazy, right? You're seeing Luka. He's getting everyone together. They're like, hanging out, doing supercars and stuff like that. Just, again, having a good time, building chemistry, building that camaraderie, building that relationship. You see him recently give his latest shoe to all his entire team. Everybody, even the two-way guys, even the preseason guys, the guys that aren't going to be on the roster, like everybody got a pair. Again, just building that chemistry, right? Leadership is obviously on court. You need to be vocal. You need to be this, that, and the other, right? But you also want to be the guy off the court as well, right? Like, it's one thing to just show up, yell at everybody, tell everyone what to do, and then go home. It's another thing to do all that, but then still, be that kind of that confidant in closed doors, like in the locker room, hanging out, getting teams together, right? Like, LeBron James is known for doing like player camps. He hasn't done it the last few years, but he would do like the player only camps, right? Build that chemistry, get guys together, get the team together, right? You'd see that 2020 team, I think, is an excellent example, right? That 2020 team was a team that, they did everything together. They were going to movies together, having dinners together. They were just hanging out at each other's houses. It felt, to this day, I don't think I've ever seen a team have more chemistry and just relationship than that team. And you saw it translate on the basketball court. You see those things translate on the basketball court. You see the chemistry. You see, especially Luka being as great as he is, being the superstar, being the face, being all of those things. You need the guys that are willing to run through a wall for you. And so you need to have not only their respect, but you need to have their, the compassion and the relationships and the camaraderie and all the other things that go into that, all the emotions that go into like, hey, I don't want to let this guy down. Look at what he's done for me. Look at what he's done for this team. Look at what, how he brings us all together. Look at how he, helps us kind of just get closer and team build and do all these things. You want to have your leader in many areas do this, right? And to me, it's the entire package this offseason. Right? Like, Luka, which is why it's crazy that Dallas traded him, right? Because it ensured this was going to happen, right? Like, I've said this before. It is very likely, right, just based on what we saw. Now, Lucas Camp or whatever said he was already in the process of doing all this, but we don't know if he actually would. However, if he stuck with Dallas, there's a good chance that Dallas would have been right. That he just was comfortable. He kind of, you unbuckle your pants, kick back a little bit, just chill. He got comfortable. Right? Dallas didn't like that. Well, again, there might have been a good chance that he just never got uncomfortable in Dallas and just stayed the way he was. But the moment Dallas traded him, they ensured that the best version of Luka Doncic was going to whatever team he gets traded to. And it just so happened that the Lakers were the team that he traded him to. And you're seeing it. You're seeing the body transformation, right? You're seeing the condition. You're seeing the strict diet. You're seeing all the personal stuff, right? But it's more than just the personal stuff. Personal stuff is important, right? We need the best version of Luka possible. If we're going to win a championship and win multiple championships, you need Luka healthier than he has been recently. You need him better than he has been recently. You need him to essentially be the best player in all of basketball, right? So that way, especially with the new CBA, some of the restrictions and stuff, you got a lot of young rising teams that you're going to be competing with. You're in the gauntlet that is the Western Conference, right? Like, Lakers aren't, hey, we made the conference finals, or hey, we made the NBA finals. We are winning NBA finals. And like Luka himself said, I want to win multiple championships. I don't want to win one. You know, he said he's addicted to the finals. Right? We saw guys like Chris Paul go there and just for years talk to this day. He still talks about, man, all I want to do is get back. Right? You get that taste. You smell that atmosphere. You smell that environment. You feel the heat and the pressure and all these. And it's a different world, right? And Luka, he has that. He got that taste, and now he wants it. But you have to work for it. It's so hard to get back there. We as Laker fans, we're so lucky and privileged. I talk about it all the time. Like we are blessed as Laker fans to have the success that we have had over the years. And it's why even when the last 3 years that I've been doing this channel, I've talked about just trust the process, right? Like there's all this concern, all this worry about like what happens when LeBron leaves and Anthony Davis, blah, blah. The Lakers always get a guy. Always. Their entire history. They always get that guy. It's why in, various trade videos and stuff like that, I've talked about how, I don't need you to go and star chase and do all this other stuff. That guy's going to come to you. If you build it, they will come. Guess what? That guy came to him. Not direct like him walking in, but Dallas hits up Rob and boom, all of a sudden we get. It was inevitable. You know why it was inevitable? Because it always happens. Literally the 75-year history. All we know is that the Lakers always get a guy and very likely another guy. And very likely another guy is going to come, whether it's just through natural development or, Lakers have a team and they're like, well, LeBron's gone. Me and Luka go win a championship. Maybe that's Giannis. Maybe it's Jokic. Maybe it's somebody else entirely we're not even thinking about. No one thought, Luka was going to be a Laker. And look, guess what? He is a Los Angeles Laker. Maybe it's Anthony Edwards. I'm just saying, Anthony Edwards doesn't have success in Minnesota. He goes, hey, me and Luka, just a thought. But in all seriousness, right? Again, Luka's doing the personal side of things. He's conditioning himself. He's working on his body. He's doing his dietary things. He's, doing the strength and conditioning stuff, right? Lakers basically did everything you could ask from them standpoint to put him in a position to have that success. Even when he goes to Eurobasket, they send, St. Jean to go and help and just basically be a hand in whatever Luka needs, make sure he's staying on top of his diet and his regimes, right? Yet Lakers have brought in his training staff, all this. Basically everything Dallas didn't want to do, which is crazy that Dallas didn't want to do any of that stuff, right? When you have at worst top 3 player in all of basketball, right? You don't want to do that, right? You just, we're good. Why would we waste resources on the best player in the league, right? It's crazy to me. But guess what? It's why the Lakers are the Lakers. It's why stars want to go there. It's why the Lakers are always in this position because they do whatever it takes to appease and make sure that the star is put in the best position possible. Now you have an owner that has the money to accommodate, right? To oblige them, right? So that is huge. But it's more than just the personal stuff. Because, again, the best version of Luka, we wholeheartedly, absolutely, without a doubt need. You need, the better Luka is, the better chance we have of winning championships. But again, you need that team that has that again, the feel, the camaraderie. That 2020 team, you just knew. Right from the jump. You're just like, dude, this team has something special. This team has something different. This team is very different. Right? Lakers have a lot of talent on this team. They do, right? I've even talked about and broken down Dallas's finals team a couple seasons ago to this Lakers team. Lakers have more front end, particularly offensive talent, which Dallas had some issues with because they were just so reliant on Luka and Kyrie Irving, right? They got to the finals really on their defense. But that Dallas team had better complementary fits, better complementary players, right? Think of Derrick Jones Jr., right? Rui Hachimura is the better offensive player, but he doesn't have the athleticism and he doesn't have the defense that Derrick Jones Jr. does, right? But Rui's bigger, stronger, stockier, shooting, right? Again, the offense side of things is much better. PJ Washington, same thing, right? I think Austin Reeves is better than PJ Washington, but PJ Washington was exactly what that team needed. People forget, Dallas, 1, made it to the finals. They were the 5th or 6th seed, and 2, right? They were on the outside looking in down the stretch before they made the trades for Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington. There was genuine conversation about, is Dallas going to miss the play-in again with Luka and Kyrie Irving? right? Because they missed it the previous season. But that was, they traded for Kyrie. That Luka gets hurt. Like there was context. Context is important, but still, it was like a genuine thing. It's like, dude, are they gonna really miss again? And then they made the trade for Daniel Gafford, and they made the trade for PJ Washington, and then Derek Lively became like the greatest defensive player of all time in the playoffs, and they just went on this run. And you saw it. But again, we've seen Luka do more with less. But that team, it fit. You had the chemistry. Everything kind of just came together and clicked at the right time. It's what we need to see from this Lakers team. The Lakers have the talent. Can they win an NBA championship? Absolutely. I've said a million times, right? There's a version of this team that is hoisting the Larry O'Brien at the end of the season. But there's also a version of this team that is, a play-in team, or misses the playoffs entirely, or is a first or second round exit, right? There is a version of this team. There's a timeline for this team and every potential possibility, right? But the way that you can kind of get closer to that Larry O'Brien version is what Luka's doing, building that chemistry, getting your teammates on board. Having them want to run through a wall for you. Having them not wanting to let you down. Because everyone knows, you don't think that they know what Luka can do and what Luka brings to this team? Of course they do. You don't think DeAndre Ayton isn't just waiting and licking his chops at the opportunity for Luka to come back? He's kind of just playing ball right now because he knows he has to. I'm sure if he was in a different situation, he'd probably be talking, his words would probably be very different. But right now he's kind of just like, hey, I haven't had the opportunity yet. He's playing ball because he knows. But you think if you hooked him up to a lie detector test or you gave him some truth serum, he wouldn't be like, I just need Luka back. Like, it isn't work. Like, these guys can't get me the ball the way Luka. I didn't come. You think DeAndre Ayton did what he did to come here to play with Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura and stuff like that? I love those guys, but he did it. He came here and he signed here because he knows Luka Doncic is going to revamp his career, right? He did this because he knows, man, if I go to the Lakers and I get to play with Luka Doncic, I might be a 20-12 guy, right? Like, I'll be back in those conversations again, right? Like, that's why he went there. And it's all those things, like all those components. Everything needs to kind of fit. But I love seeing Luka not just say things. Right? Luka says, I want to be better, need to be a better condition, need to be better health-wise, right? What does he do? Boom, does it. I want to be a better leader, want to be more vocal, I want to be more of a, the team guy. What does he do? Goes and does it. Right? Again, it's one thing to say it. It's another thing to actually do it and implement it. And I said this when we got him. You'd be foolish to think that he wouldn't do this. You don't become the player that Luka is without having that fire, that little bit of FU, that competitive nature. You don't become the level, I don't care how good you are, you don't get to the level in which Luka Doncic got or has gotten to, right? By not being like just sitting around eating bonbons, smoking hookah, and drinking beer all day, right? The guy is a monster. To think that he wasn't going to do this, especially when you relit that fire, did he get a little comfortable in Dallas? Sure. But it's your job as the organization to get him out of that. Right? Like, like Lucas said, dude, they just fire all the guys that I like and trade all the players that I like. It's like they're working against me rather than with me. Your job is to work with them. I mean, look at like Milwaukee's like ruined any chance they have of winning a championship for another like 30 years trying to appease Giannis. And it's unfortunate, but again, that's what you do. You appease your superstar. I love what Luka's doing. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.